Hi friends and welcome back. Today we are here to watch season 5 episode 11 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It is called Triangle. In my mind there's only one thing it reminds me of, which is like a love triangle. So I'm thinking like, are we going to be discussing Spike a little this episode? Maybe, perhaps. I'm not quite sure. I feel like I have a lot of like hopes and expectations, but not that many predictions, if that makes sense. Usually the first half of the season and the second half are like quite different. And I feel like Angel has definitely made the tonal shift, you know, on season 2, and it's been really interesting. But with Buffy, I'm having a harder time seeing that in season 5. I don't know if we have seen that one moment that sort of changes everything. And maybe this is me like overthinking things, because of course I do that. We opened up so many threads, you know, because we started talking about Dawn being the key. We started talking about the spirit of the first Slayer. We started talking about the red dress lady whose name I just forgot. It was not Oprah. Damn it. What was her name? Like, we have a lot of open threads with season 5 that I'm not quite sure which one is going to pan out. Like, while for season 2, I feel like I know exactly sort of the big bad and like the style of it. For season 5 of Buffy, I am very confused. So I'm kind of curious to see when that's sort of going to change. We're halfway through season 5 now. This feels very surreal to say, and I can't tell you how many, like, it's so silly. But I always have these like breakdowns where I'm like, I can no longer watch Buffy because season 7 just starts like, I feel like it's sneaking up on me, and I don't like the idea of not having any more Buffy episodes to watch. So as always, I'm going through another one of my like Buffy is going to be ending soon spiral, even though I still have like quite a good amount of time. But anyways, I just can't believe we're halfway through with season 5. It feels kind of crazy. You know, we're definitely sort of in the middle of everything, and like I said, I just want to see what is going to happen. I want some sort of indication for what the second half of the season is going to be like. In regards to like my title interpretation, I did say that it reminds me of a love triangle. I feel like with Riley leaving, there's not much of a triangle anymore, is there? Because it's sort of just Buffy and Spike, and having to see how that's going to work out. I'm not sure if this could be a hint towards like Spike and Buffy creating a bigger connection this episode or not. And also I have to say, I'm still worried about Joyce. You see, normally I love watching Buffy. This last few episodes, I was not having fun. I was way too concerned for Joyce. And I really don't like what they put me through, because I was honestly grieving her before she was even gone, and it was a whole thing. But anyways, this goes to say that I'm not quite sure that I see Joyce being completely safe right now. Because I think they were toying with the idea of how much it would harm Buffy if she did die. And it put that idea in my head that I'm not sure I can get rid of. And maybe this is a payoff for like another season, or like the season finale or something. But you know how when people are actually sick, they will suddenly get better right before they die? It gave me a little bit of this feeling. And it could be just like my paranoia. We all know I got some shit, but like, I don't know. I'm still a little bit worried. I'm not as worried as I was before, so I'm dealing with all that better, but I'm still concerned. I feel like we're about to sort of establish a lot of the season 5 vibe, like more of it. So I'm excited to keep watching, and I thank you all so much for watching this with me. So I think we should just go ahead and start it. So yeah, let's go.
If you ever decide to go, I want a warning. You know, big flashing red lights and one of those clocks that counts down like a bomb in a movie.
They're so cute.
Maybe it won't happen to us because it's all about her messing things up. And she couldn't make it work with Angel, and couldn't she let Riley go away?
Yeah, relationship debris is kind of piling up on the Buffy highway.
Humans make the same mistakes over and over. I saw it when I was a vengeance demon. Some guy dumps a girl, she calls me, I exact vengeance, blah, blah, blah. The next year, same girl, different guy. I mean, after you smite a few of them, you start going, my goodness, young lady, maybe you're doing something wrong here too?
I wonder how she's dealing with it.
Oh God.
Sister Abigail.
Are you kidding me? There's no way. What? Buffandra, what is happening? Oh, that's not Buffy. Oh, there we go. Now that's more like it.
About being a nun, you know, with the
wait.
whole abjuring the company of men. You know, how's that working for you?
That makes more sense.
So you really think they might be able to help us?
If you mean, are they going to help us find out something about Glory?
Oh, Glory.
I'm not going to mention Dawn's name. I wouldn't do that, I promise.
But you're gonna tell them about the key? That Glory's looking for something called the key?
Well, knowing her goal is crucial.
I'm just freaked about the idea of giving them any information that could possibly lead them to Dawn.
Truly, Buffy, if I saw an alternative, if the initiative was still around, I'd consider using them, but...
No,
they're gone.
absolutely.
And Riley was
No.
the last link we had to the government.
I'm doing all right. These things happen. People break up and they move on. For a while, it feels like the end of the world, you know, but big picture,
Not so huge.
not so huge. I just said it feels like the end of the world. Don't you listen? I'm teasing. Sort of.
Usually I use that time to copy over my class notes with a system of different colored pens.
Of course
But
she
it's
does.
been pointed out to me that that's, you know, insane.
I said quirky. Hello, I work here. I'll take care of everything.
Yeah, Anya can do it.
Dealing with people requires a certain finesse.
I have finesse. I have finesse coming out of my bottom. I can completely lie to the health inspector. I can, you know, distract him with coy smiles and bribe him with money and goods.
See there? She'll be great.
Don't worry, Giles. I'll help her take care of everything.
Xander, she's talking to Giles like I'm not here. Make her stop.
Perhaps I better call you alone.
I'm just trying to help out. Xander, tell her.
Schedule an earlier flight back, excuse me.
Tell her that I don't need her help.
Oh my god, girls, just talk. Oh, see, are we going to see Joyce? Oh no, maybe it's about Dawn. I'm
You.
concerned.
You with the actual clothing. Who are you? Dawn, come look at this.
It's hard to recognize me, huh?
It hurts. In all kinds of horrible ways. In the way where I'm furious at him. In the way where I blame myself. In all the little ways I imagine how I could have fixed things. It'll get better. Won't it? I hope so. Every day it'll get a little bit better.
Really? Every day?
Not really. But it'll be better soon.
Still feels all sudden to me. With him gone where no one can talk to him.
But you never know. Maybe he'll come back. Maybe he'll want to give it another try.
Oh no, Buffy, don't hold
could-
on to that.
Say all the things I didn't get to say.
There's something I gotta tell you about showing you Riley in that place. I didn't mean to. I was trying to help, you know.
I thought that was Harmony for a second.
Me getting nothing but your hatred and your venom and your ungrateful bitch!
These are some complicated feelings.
I tried to use it to deride Amy and it didn't work. But I think it might have made her really smart. She keeps giving me these looks like she's planning something, rubbing her paws together.
What the fuck?
You're referencing literature I have no way to be familiar with. You're trying to make me feel left out and you're stealing.
I'm not stealing. I'm just taking things without paying for them. In what twisted dictionary is that stealing?
Willow, maybe we should just pay.
Anya, Giles will be totally fine with this. Come on, it'll be fun.
Hey, don't float the merchandise. Stop that!
But it's so cool.
Hey, look at this. My 2 favorite girls. 3 favorite girls.
Aww.
Okay, you know what? I'm tired of being the one in the middle. I'm not gonna let you pull me into this.
I'm not.
Whatever the issue is between you two, just figure it out without me.
Xander, don't go.
You made him mad.
Me?
Tara, who do you think he was more mad at?
What's happening in between them, really? And their roles are so switched because I feel like I would expect Willow to be the rule following and Anya to be like, well, can do whatever.
Whatever really has you mad, why don't you just say it? Like you do every other thought that
Oh,
stones
no.
through your brain.
I believe I have said it.
No, you haven't. Come on. Let it out.
Okay, at least it's only like a monster. Oh! Oh, Giles, sweetie. I take that back. That's a bad monster. Too much property damage.
New classes, whole new vistas of knowledge to be confused and
Are they
intimidated
becoming
by.
friends?
I think this one's gonna be kind of fun.
Anya and Xander are in trouble?
Oh, no, I said that all wrong. It was nothing. Willow and Anya were sort of fighting, and then Xander kind of snapped at both of them and he left.
He left? Xander left Anya?
No, not left her. He just left.
Little things get bigger, you know, and if you don't catch the little thing, and then they can't break up.
I think
They have a beautiful love.
I think they'll be fine.
Oh, God.
Love.
What?
A miraculous love.
Poor Buffy.
Well, I don't know how to put the top up. I only just figured out what the left pedal does. It makes it stop.
You don't know how to drive? Why didn't you say you don't know how to drive?
Well, I couldn't know if I could until I tried, could I?
Oh.
Hey, what's it? Oh, it's you.
Spike, don't let me stop you from not being here. No, nothing to do with Buffy.
So she's all right then? Not, holding grudges?
What are you talking about? What does Buffy have to do with anything? What grudges?
Oh, yeah, okay. No need to talk about it then.
Buffy, something's been here and Willow's gone.
Don't worry. We'll get her back. I promise. Come on. This thing's probably leaving a huge trail.
Oh my God. She's so concerned. That's adorable.
And they're both looking at me like I'm the referee.
Oh my God, you guys.
Sometimes I'll say something about Anya, and Willow will get this look, what the hell do you see in her look?
I know that look. A lot of people never really got Drew, you know?
Well, she was insane. And then it's like, well, I get all torn.
What does the person have to do to make it right? Hey, watch it, mate. Second thought, do what you like.
Bring me stronger ale and some plump, succulent babies to eat.
I'm gonna run get Buffy. Or maybe you can fight him.
Yeah, I could do that, but I'm paralyzed with not caring very much.
You there! Do you know where there are babies?
What do you think, the hospital?
What? Shut up.
Oh my God. Spike.
I wish Buffy was here.
I'm here.
I wish I had $1 million. Just to check in.
Hello, Buffy.
Oh my God. Not the moment, Spike.
You told the witch to do that on Yanka. You seem determined to put an end to all my fun, just like you always did when we were dating.
What?
You dated him?
You dated a troll?
Well, he wasn't a troll then. You know, he was just a big dumb guy, and you know, he cheated on me, and I made him into a troll. Which, by the way, is how I got the
God.
job as a vengeance team.
Oh my God. It's
Not cheat! Not in my heart.
Oh my God. Let her go. What the fuck?
What are you doing?
Making this woman more comfortable. I'm not sampling, I'll have you know. I mean, look at all these lovely blood-covered people. I could, but not a taste for Spike, not a lick. I knew you wouldn't like it.
Oh my
You want
God.
credit for not feeding off bleeding disaster victims?
Well, yeah.
Unless I'm really wrong about Crazy Larry down at the bus stop, he's probably not going to turn Xander into a troll.
Well, that's a very complicated procedure. Oh, you think I'm gonna hurt Xander? I would never hurt Xander. You really think I would do that?
Anya, it's what you do. You spent, what, 1,000 years hurting men? And by the way, you weren't a demon when you turned Olaf into Lord of the Hammers. You managed that.
Oh,
Also,
shit.
there's other ways to
How
hurt
did she
Xander.
do that?
I don't do magic now. You're the one with that kind of power. Maybe Xander should be afraid of you.
Xander's my best friend.
Oh, and you don't want anyone else to have him. I know what broke up him and Cordelia, you know.
That was a long time ago. Do you think I'd do that again?
Why not?
Well, hello,
Oh,
I'm gay
shit.
now.
But you're always doing everything you can to point out how much I'm an outsider. You could sweep in and poison his mind against me.
You're insane. I am not gonna take him away, and I am not gonna hurt him.
Well, I'm not either.
Oh my god.
I will get away from them after I kill them.
You are not touching these women.
Let's go, Xander. Oh. Damn. Okay, so he's not nailing it, but I love him for trying.
I shall reward you. Only one of your women shall die, and you shall be the one to choose.
Oh my god.
I'm not choosing between my girlfriend and my best friend. That's insane troll logic.
Go, Xander. I love you.
Good for you. You are a loyal man.
Xander!
Oh my god.
Choose.
Olaf, no!
I'm not choosing.
Then you shall be the one who dies.
No! Choose me. Just don't take him.
My God, woman. It's been 1,000 years, and yet you are as aggravating and emasculating as ever you were.
Hola, come here, Bustomino.
These two, they will never last. Anyanka is very difficult to live with, and he's ludicrous and far too breakable. Their love will never last.
Don't cry, Buffy. Don't make her cry. Oh, fuck.
Oh, and Willow likes you too, but not in a sexy way. You know, because she's gay. And she's not gonna try to pick us up, so you know it's all okay. Their love will last forever.
The transposition be complete.
It's possible that he's in the land of Perpetual Wednesday, or the crazy melty land, or, you know, the world without shrimp.
Land.
There's a world without shrimp?
I'm allergic. He's probably in Trollland.
And look at you guys. So good and alive and together. So together and good and alive. Oh, God. I'm just so happy for you.
Girl, please stop.
I mean, they had no record of Glory or anyone like her, but based on the information that I've given her, they're going to look into it. They might have something soon.
What about the key? Were they all over it?
Yes. Well, they're interested, certainly, and full of theories.
No, Dawn, don't hear this.
They don't know that it's Dawn.
No.
Oh, I still can't even begin to grasp this. She's my little girl.
Giles, what happens if they figure it out? What would they do?
I don't know.
Oh no. Dawn has that I'm gonna run away face. Don't do it, girl. Please don't do it. Shit, she's not meant to find out. This is not going to end well. This is not going to end well. I'm afraid she's gonna like snap when she knows the truth, which is a very valid response because I feel like even, you know, all of them, like Giles and Joyce and Buffy, like they all needed a moment, like a beat to actually be able to process this. And they're not even the key, so like I feel like the moment that Dawn finds out that her entire existence is just being this key, she's really, I think she's gonna like freak out harder than we've ever seen her freak out. Because also she's so young, she's like a child, and she can't really like, you know, she's not gonna be the biggest like, I don't know, she's not gonna think things through too much, is she? I'm guessing maybe Dawn might know deep down. Sort of like the way that Joyce also sort of had a feeling, you know, that something was sort of off. I feel like maybe a part of Dawn, like, it's all going to make sense for her once she finds out. So even though she might, like, freak out, I think she's going to be able to help them once she's fully aware of what she is. It seems like Glory really is going to be the big bad, but like, I feel like she's been gone for so long that like we're not even catching glimpses of what she's doing. We still have no idea why she wants the key. I mean, I guess it was like to open the stuff, but I mean, like, I need more. I need them to tell me more. I want to be like super invested in like what the season 5 sort of plot is, and they're talking about it here and there, but I feel like I need them to like really like go into it because I'm excited for that. The ending of this episode, like I said, you know, I feel like you can just look at somebody and know when they're planning on running away. This girl's planning on running away. That would have to be my sort of guess for the next episode, is that Dawn's gonna freak out, she's gonna run away, and so we're gonna have to spend the entire episode trying to sort of in a way get her back, not only like physically, like where the hell is she, but also like emotionally, in the sense of grounding her back to reality and making her understand that like it's fine and everything's okay. Like I feel like the next episode has to be Dawn centric so that we can focus on that, so that we can really go into Glory understanding a little bit more of Dawn. Maybe even though this episode was clearly like a monster of the week, I feel like what I really, really enjoyed about it was that it was sort of like a character exploration of sorts, right? Because while we were definitely focusing like on the monster, on Mr. Troll, who by the way, I'm very like morally opposed to because of his obsession with eating babies. I get it. Babies are adorable. I want to bite off their cheeks, I say with like all my love. Like, sure, babies are adorable, but I love babies too much to have this man say he wants to eat them. I'm disturbed, and I hope we don't see him again. It was so interesting to have this Anya, or better, Anyanka backstory. You know that I'm just gonna have to call her Anyanka now, because it's kind of cool. It was really interesting to have that backstory connect, because I was not expecting that at all. I feel like we had been talking about it, and you know, even in this episode, they had mentioned her being a vengeance demon. So I had been waiting for sort of like, for that to pay off, just because we talked about it in Restless, and you know, she was saying like vengeance is in, and I was like, I've always been curious to know if she was going to go back to being a vengeance demon. And I feel like maybe the entire setup was for this episode though, was for us to like remember that part of her, so that when we see her history, so that it all makes sense. Like, I don't know, I thought it was really fun to see her, like, you know, just residues of her past. And, you know, I think Willow said that apparently she turned him, like the first person, right? She turned him before she was even a vengeance demon. Like, I want to know how. Like, how did she get that power? Like, how do you have the willpower to transform somebody into a troll? He must have really hurt her. It was so interesting to see like her origin story in a way, because I feel like Anya deserves more screen time, and I'm glad that she got it this episode. You know, she was up to like a series regular or something. Like, she's now in the intro. Oh, please forgive me. I just remembered I was going to check the intro and I forgot. I wanted to see if Riley was still in the intro. Please forgive me. Okay. He would be after her, right? Oh. He's gone. He's gone. Okay, we celebrated. I'm so sorry, that sounded so rude. I'm just glad that Riley's actually gone, because, you know, for the entire episode, there was a part of me that was wondering if they were going to like go back on it and have Riley come back and be like, no, Buffy, I still love you, or something. Or like, I don't know. I was waiting to see if they were planning on setting up Riley coming back. But I guess based off like where the episode went, and just based off the fact that he's not in the intro, I do think Riley is gone. And I'm sorry, I'm happy about it. I'm glad it happened. I was over him. It's time. But that does make me wonder though, because they just took him off the intro, but they didn't put anybody in his place. Something that really got me thinking this episode is, I wonder how involved Joyce could be in this season. Because I feel like we've always seen Joyce as a very, very side character of like, she'll appear once in a while, but never for like too many episodes in a row and those kind of things. But I feel like this season has the potential to change that, because, you know, we've already focused on a really important storyline for Joyce, and because it seems like the big bad is directly connected to like her because of Dawn, right? Like, Dawn clearly has that sort of connection to Glory and stuff like that. Like, it's more personal, and so Joyce has a bigger importance when it comes to the storyline of the season. I believe it seems a lot more like into family, right, than into like, you know, because season 4 was definitely like a college season, whereas this one feels a lot more like it's about characters, you know, their relationships and like family. So I could definitely see Joyce becoming a really important part of the season, you know. So it got me thinking, you know, because they just took off Riley from the intro, it got me wondering, could they be substituting him? Because they didn't on this episode. But I wonder if, starting next episode or something, they could potentially be putting somebody else in the intro, like Joyce or Tara. I would not complain. Just because, I don't know. It feels like they could also be bringing in a new character, though. Maybe Glory herself could be making it to the intro. Just because I feel like whenever we sort of lose a main character, there's a sort of expectation, at least on me, of like they're going to have to try and substitute like his screen time and his importance in another way. And by the way, I thought it was really interesting to see Buffy's reaction to that, because just like I think it was like 2 episodes ago or something, where Buffy sort of really wanted to cry and she was saying that she couldn't let herself sort of feel those things. And I think it's really interesting that now she's really letting herself feel. And I thought it was very, in a way, heartwarming, in a way just a complete mood, because like I said, I'm not a crier. But like, I don't know, there's just some weeks or some days that like everything makes you want to cry. It happens, and I get it. And I related to that mood, Miss Buffandra. And I feel like it just felt very realistic. It felt like, in a way, now she's allowed to cry because this affects only sort of her. With Joyce, she couldn't allow herself to feel those things because she knew that it was going to affect Joyce, it was going to affect Dawn, and so she really had to keep it together. And I feel like a part of why Buffy is breaking down so many times this episode is just that now she's finally allowed to feel her feelings without having to think about who else is going to be affected by that, because the person who's affected by Riley leaving is just her. So I feel like it's a combination of all of that, It's her, of course, being upset that her boyfriend's gone, but I think also a part of it is letting the trauma of what just happened to Joyce and how scared, like, it's letting all those feelings out too. I think it was like a very meaningful way of seeing Buffy just being really in touch with her feelings and just sort of letting it all out so that she can, get better. Because I feel like, it's really interesting. I feel like whenever we see Buffy going through something, she sort of always resorts to violence, right? And I feel like that's where I thought we were going in the beginning of the episode. I mean, first I thought religion, and I was like, damn. But then it's like, oh no, she's obviously going to, really, like, she always goes into slaying when she's suffering in her personal life. She'll start beating people up. It's interesting that they chose to go down a different route this time, though. It feels different. It feels like, well, they could have gone down the same route that they usually do, which is of Buffy, shutting down and just deciding that she needs to slay some vampires. No, this time she was actually letting herself cry. And I feel like that's very meaningful, and I'm very happy for her that she seems to be like changing a little. It feels like a grown-up response to what's happening. A little bit less impulsive and more just like, I'm gonna get in touch with my feelings because that's good for me. Sarah Michelle Gellar is like she's too good of an actress, so whenever she cries, I don't have a hard time. It's too hard. I don't have a fun time. But I feel like it was interesting though because they were able to balance it off very well. They didn't make it into like a super heavy depressive episode, which they could have done. Because I feel like after Angel left, Buffy felt like depressed. And while she was crying a lot here, I think they were using a lot more humor for it. So I think they're dealing with it in a very different way. And I think that thankfully it helps the episode not be as sort of heartbreaking. Because I feel like we had just gone through 3 really heavy episodes because of the Joyce storyline. That, to be honest, I think I needed a Monster of the Week. I think I needed an episode that could make me laugh. It's good to remember that they can actually make me laugh and just have fun instead of like worrying me to death. In general, I feel like the scenes, there were such cool, like meaningful, like adorable scenes. Like especially I think about the scene of Buffy and Giles and the scene of Buffy and Dawn. Buffy and Giles, like that scene is just adorable because they have a bond that's so sweet, and you can tell that it's so much more than like Watcher Slayer now, and he really is her father figure. The fact that she's talking about Riley to him because he understands and he cares, like, I just think it's adorable that they really just care and love each other so much. Every time Buffy and Giles, like, they just, it's so cute. It's so cute. And seeing her with Dawn. And I love that, like, even though Buffy's the one who's suffering right now, first of all, I think it's interesting that Dawn asks to be in her room, because in a way, of course, it feels like, well, Dawn just wants to be close to Buffy because she's the big sister and she's so cool because she's the Slayer. But also, I wonder if a part of it is just that she can sense that her sister's going through a lot and she just wants to be close by. Because I feel like Dawn seems to be a pretty perceptive person, like what we saw in the conversation. And so I feel like a part of it is that she's letting Buffy think that she's doing this for her, like for Dawn, but actually Dawn is sort of doing it for Buffy. You know, there's just something so sweet about that relationship, and I love the way that they're building it. I think it's sweet that Buffy's trying to comfort Dawn even when she's the one who's suffering at that moment. You know, Buffy always has this like selfless thing that is like insane, where like even though she's the one going through the breakup, she's the one who's telling Dawn like it's going to be okay and things get better every day. I feel like with Angel, because it was like the first time, it was very hard, but now I feel like she sort of knows the drill. She's like, I've been here before and I know what I have to do. And so I like that she's sort of sharing that knowledge with Dawn, who's like, you know, so much younger and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, it's just, it's so sweet to see how well they bond and how much they just care for each other. I think that's what really, you know, attaches me to this relationship and to the story. So I really enjoy whenever they're together. And I think they played the Restless like theme. Like, I recognize the song. I think it was the song from the end of the episode of Restless. No, I may be going crazy, but like I said, this episode just felt like it had some Restless vibes in it. But there's just something about this episode that makes it feel bigger than what it is. So that's interesting.
Explosion.
Like I said, I think this episode really focused on characters, and what I really enjoy about it is how we really got to explore so many different friendships that we had like not given any attention to. You know, I feel like the Tara and Buffy combo is amazing, and like I have wanted this so much, because while I feel the same way about Anya though. I feel like she doesn't get to interact with too many people outside of Xander, and I was really hoping for Tara that she was going to, you know, be able to form some bonds or something. I feel like I would be reassured if I knew that, for example, Anya and Tara had like a lot of friends outside of the squad, but that's not how it feels, right? It feels like sort of Xander and Willow are sort of their only connections, like their only big, good friends. It was just so cool to see them talk, to see them interact without Willow. It doesn't seem like she's being friends with Tara just because of Willow. It seems like she's actually growing to like Tara, and, you know, I feel like things really changed after the family episode. And it's good to see that, like, they're actually starting to create a bond. And I think, you know, I really like that she hugs Tara and she breaks down in front of Tara, because in a way I feel like that to me just shows trust. Like, if you're going to cry around somebody, to be able to let yourself be vulnerable like this, especially when you're Buffy. So I think that was just, it was a really sweet moment, like sweet scene and a sweet friendship, and I'm just really hoping that this means that we're going to be developing it more, because while I do love seeing some Tara and Willow scenes, like obviously, I think I would like it just as much to be able to see Tara interact with Buffy and see that like relationship be formed. It was so great to see Willow and Anya finally talk things out, because it was hard to watch them fight so much, because I'm like, you guys are both amazing, but it was so gratifying. Like, I feel like it's all worth it when you see that it's all because they love Xander so much. That's why they're fighting. And I feel like in a way this episode really changed their relationship, because while they usually have this banter, I feel like now they kind of understand each other better, understand their reasonings, and I feel like hopefully this means that their friendship is only going to get stronger. So I feel like what I really like about this is because it didn't feel like we were just exploring these random friendships for one episode and that's it. It feels like these are friendships that we're actually going to like explore, like for good, that this is not a temporary thing, because even Xander and Spike, you know, and this is biased because, of course, I know that Spike is going to eventually have something with Buffy. So I know that, like, well, this part I don't know, but I'm assuming this means that the squad is sort of going to come around to Spike. It's interesting because even that feels like a setup. And I wonder if Spike and Xander are going to eventually sort of become friends, because it was interesting to see them actually talk things out and, like, rely on each other. And for a second there, I really was like, okay, so Xander is going to be the one. He's definitely going to notice what is up with Spike and that, you know, he's sort of madly in love. Because I have to say, Spike has been insane since his discovery that he likes Buffy, that he's in love with her. Like, I don't know what I was expecting for that storyline, but I can assure you that it was not this, because it is so interesting to see Spike be, like, completely sort of unhinged. Like, I can't even describe it, but there's just like, there's something about him that just feels so hilarious, in the sense that, like, he is this badass killer who is so goddamn in love right now that he would do anything for Buffy. It's just so crazy. Like, there's just something that feels so wrong in seeing him help people and seeing him, like, you know, just trying to impress Buffy and showing all his emotions and stuff like that. I don't know. It's been so interesting to see this side of him because it is completely different to any side of him we've been presented to. And I like that while I thought they would be shying away from that they would be like, yeah, Spike likes Buffy. Let's drop it for a second and see what happens. No, they're reminding us every single episode that there's something there. And I'm just, again, so curious to see how Buffy's gonna, like, actually process all of this. Because I feel like we haven't talked about that much. She has to, like, notice soon. And I can't imagine how she's going to react to that. But anyways, I did feel like Anya and Willow, like, their roles felt so switched this episode because I've always seen Anya as the impulsive one, you know, driving even though she doesn't know how to, whereas Willow is definitely, you know, somebody who copies all her notes. I have done that so many times when she gets home and stuff like that. And so I feel like I would have assumed that Anya would be the one to want to steal things from the store and be like, no, it's totally fine, and that Willow would be the uptight one who would be like, no, because Giles is going to notice. So I think it's so interesting that their roles seem to be switched because Willow seemed to be the badass this episode and Anya seemed to be the one who was, like, uptight. And I feel like that's just such a change of things, but I feel like in a way, I feel like it actually shows character progress for both characters. Firstly, for Anya, because I feel like it shows that she's growing and she's respecting so much more of how the world works in the sense of she really respects Giles. Whereas Willow, I feel like it shows that she's maybe starting to let go a little bit of, like, control, which is good because I feel like Willow's so uptight that in a way you have to learn how to, like, not be so uptight all the time because that's not good for her, right? So I feel like in a way her being okay with, like, breaking the rules for a second to make her spell and stuff, I feel like it shows that, like, she is more, I don't know. It reminds me of, like, the whole army talk, you know, like, what bothered a little bit about Riley is the fact that anything they said he should do, he would do. And I feel like that's not a good thing. So I think Willow being able to sort of make her own thoughts and not exactly have to follow every single rule in a way is good because it shows that she's growing in the sense of she's not going to get stuck by these rules and expectations of society, you know. So I don't know, it's kind of cool, and it was just so great to see them do magic. I always love when they do magic. Did it go very poorly? Yes, but that's on you for talking during a spell, really. My one criticism of this episode is that I think it is absolutely outrageous that we did not get to see Giles in England. How is this okay? It is not. It is really, really not. You know, when he said that he was going to travel and stuff, I was like, this is so exciting because, first of all, it would be kind of exciting to get away from Sunnydale for a while because we haven't seen these characters outside of this environment, except for, like, you know, when Buffy goes to LA for a whole second. Anyways, I'm not thinking about that episode. Anyways, it would just be interesting to see these characters sort of interact outside this setting that is so familiar to us, and I would really like to see him in the UK and stuff. I don't know, it sounded like such a fun concept, and I hyped myself up for it, thinking that we were going to at least see a scene or two of it, and we didn't. And I was also so curious to see how he was going to be talking to these Watcher Council guys, because they're all dicks, and we hate them. But the fact that we sort of need their help right now is so concerning and something that I knew from the start was going to happen. They're going to have to find out some information, and I'm so scared that they're going to leverage it of only give us the information if Buffy gets another Watcher or, like, you know, something like that. There's something that concerns me about us going to them for help. It's almost like Angel going to Wolfram and Hart for help, right? It just doesn't feel right. It's a really interesting storyline to be bringing up. But I just wish we actually got to see the conversations in between Giles and them so that we can see how much we can trust them, so that we can see how Giles went about it, because I feel like it's kind of weird that he went there and that he would ask them for help, but at the same time, they're so desperate that, like, I get it. I feel bad, but I kind of get it that, like, at some point you just need whoever's help it is. So yeah, that is my hope, though. I hope we get to see Giles in England at some point. That would be really fun. I wonder if he saw his family or his friends from the good old days. I don't know. I wonder what still ties him to England, if that makes sense. And so it would have been really fun to also catch a glimpse of that. And lastly, I have to give a little bit more of a Xander praise because, again, he was so good this episode. I love that Xander is really growing on me so much. So much. I feel like there was a switch in him in 401 after he graduated that I've been feeling until now, you know, of just maturity, and I really, really enjoy the sight of him. And now, even when I'm rewatching the old seasons, like rewatching season 1, I feel like I love Xander so much more. So it's just a really good feeling to have like a bigger attachment to his character. The fact that he wouldn't choose in between Willow and Anya, you know, I feel like it's so admirable, you know, and just the fact that he was actually getting hurt and like fighting that freaking demon bitch boy, you know, for them without even having to think about it. You know, there's something so sweet about him, and I really, really love it. I think he did super great. We should check the name of the next episode before I fall asleep, because it is quite a day. So the name of the next episode is called, where's Buffy? Oh, Checkpoint. Okay. Checkpoint sort of reminds me of like order. I don't know if this makes sense. It probably doesn't. But like schedules and orders, you know, like you're finally gonna reach the checkpoint. It's a very specific place, right? This makes no sense. It feels like we're hitting the checkpoint of the season, if that makes sense. It feels like a hint towards like things might change, which maybe is me reading into things, because like I said, I want things to change and I think they will. So maybe this is me manifesting it, but checkpoint just feels like we're hitting a certain point. We're hitting something. Yeah, I don't know. That's a really interesting title. Could it be like a literal checkpoint? I don't know. Okay, well, I'm curious, and I'll be excited to watch this episode very soon, so I'll be thinking about it. So yeah, I thank you all so much for watching this with me. I hope you had fun, and I hope I will see you in the next episode, so thank you so much, and see you then.